And we are live. So, welcome to Let's Talk About It, Wednesday weekly live stream where I go over what's been happening in the world of IT and cybersecurity over the last week. Now, there's a few things that we're going to look at that have been happening over the week, so including Microsoft Windows patches and some software that you can use to patch Windows machines yourself for free if there's less than 100 of them. We've got some WordPress plugin stuff. Adobe stuff that Adobe released some patches for multiple code execution flaws in a wide range of their products. We have a Google Chrome 0 day. There's a Edge 0 day. FortiOS and FortiProxy SSL VPN issues. Fortinet stuff seems to be a weekly topic that comes up every single week. Some social engineering attacks. Dell has been hacked. We've got some hackers abusing popular tools for abusing computers, mainly GoToMeeting. So Apple iTunes. Let's jump in and start walking through them. So I guess the first thing that we should address is Microsoft patches and why you should update Windows. So if I pull this up real quick, let me just make this a bit bigger. So this post is from May the 15th. Microsoft patches 61 flaws, including 2 actively exploited 0 days. So this shows the importance of keeping Windows up to date. So we've got Microsoft has addressed a total of 61 new security flaws. So I think it was 140 or something last month. So there's 61 new security flaws as part of the Patch Tuesday updates for May. These include 2 0 days, which are being actively exploited. Out of the 61, 1 is rated critical and 59 are important. So there's 1 moderate. In addition to 30 vulnerabilities resolved in Chromium Edge browser over the past month, including 2 disclosed 0 days, which are, I think it's the same one that's affecting Edge and Chrome. So we've got a Windows MS HTML security bypass. So the Windows desktop, so DWM core library. These are the 2 important ones which are being exploited at the moment. So the Windows Desktop Manager, privilege elevation, so that's never good. So an unauthenticated attacker who successfully exploited this vulnerability could gain code execution through convincing a user to open a malicious document. We've got the CVE 2024 30040. So the successful exploitation requires an attacker to convince the user to load a specifically crafted file onto the system, which is distributed via email, so phishing attacks, instant messages to trick them into manipulating it. The other CVE 2024 30051 allows a threat actor to gain system privileges. So yeah, you need to run your Windows patches and not just make sure Windows is patched, but also reboot after you've installed the patches. So this is being used with Quackbot, another malware, to infect systems. So 61 vulnerabilities. For small businesses or even home lab users that have multiple Windows machines, obviously you can have automatic updates turned on, but there's a better way of doing this, and there's which way am I going? This way. Action 1, patching that works. So I've been having a look at this, and I might do a full video on it. Now this is quite cool. So automated vulnerability remediation, continuous patch compliance for servers and workstations. They've got a secured and trusted SOC Type 2, ISO 27001, and GDPR compliant. So this is free, I believe, for up to 100 endpoints, is it? It's not there. But yeah, I believe it's free to use if you've got 100 machines or less. Let's see URL for this. It's just, is this going to work? Oh, well, I'm streaming. Is Zoom going to work? No. Not without me coming out and going back in. So it's just action1.com. In fact, I'll put it in the comments. So www.action1.com. So there's the address for that, and you can use this to automatically patch your machines. There is a demo available on it if you'd like to go through and have a look at it. I've been following this for quite a while, and it's quite an interesting project. It's not your typical RMM type of solution. It concentrates on patching, and it does third-party apps as well. So third-party apps is a list of here of things that will automatically patch. So 1Password, 7-Zip, Adobe Acrobat. There's a lot of supported applications here. So pretty much the whole Adobe suite. Vast, Bitwarden, CC Cleaner, Cisco stuff. There's a lot of applications supported, even so 40 client VPN, GIMP, which is a open source Photoshop type alternative, Git, Google Chrome, Java, LibreOffice, KeyPass. How many is there on here? There's a lot. So obviously we've got Firefox, Thunderbird, Notepad, OpenVPN, Opera Browser, PGAdmin, Putty. Yeah, there's an issue with Putty as well that you should be aware of, and I'll cover that actually. It's just reminded me because I've just seen this come up. So it can automatically patch Putty for you, Slack, SQL Server, TeamViewer, Type VNC, Windows feature updates, WinRAR, WinSCP. Again, this is also being exploited at the moment. So we've got WinZip, Wireshark, Zoom. So if you're interested in automatic patching of your machines, take a look at this. It's a shame that when you click on pricing, you have to so pricing's from 101 devices onwards, so it is free for up to 100 devices. It's a shame. You have to get a quote. So I wish people would just be more transparent with the prices. And it always concerns me when you've got to request a quote rather than people having the prices on the website. It always makes me feel like it depends on what mood the person's in that you're requesting the quote from when you see it like that. And I don't see the point in hiding prices. So action one. May transition me back while I just find what else I was looking at. Wait, get off that because we've done the Microsoft stuff. No, there's one that's actually not on there. Where is it? WordPress plugin, Advanced Custom Fields Pro. I've seen this come up a few times recently. So let me just copy this link. Stick it in here. Oh, nice. It's talking to me. So this is WordPress Advanced Custom Fields Pro plugin. So less than 6.2.10. So if you are running this, yeah, go get it patched. I believe it's vulnerable to local file inclusion. This could allow a malicious actor to include local files of the target website and show its output onto the screen. Files which store credentials such as database credentials, etc. could be exposed. The solution is to upgrade to 6.2.10. Is there any more details on that? One second. So it's contributor local file vulnerability. When you're looking at these things, like, obviously this seems quite alarming, but they need contributor access to be able to do this. So that's WordPress Advanced Custom Fields Pro. So if you are running in WordPress sites, you might want to check that it's up to date and past, well, 6.2.10. So is the patched version. What do we have next? There is all sorts of stuff that I've been seeing this week. Where was that? Oh, that wasn't on my list actually. Just something I remembered about. Pull this over. Is it going to come up? Yep. So Google Chrome 0-day vulnerability and exploited in the wild. So this is May the 10th. This is like 5 days ago. So you're going to want to make sure that your Google browser's up to date. Now, Google browser usually updates itself when you close it and you launch it. It usually checks for updates. Sometimes they're staggered, so it's good to force them. And this is this is that. Yeah, it's the same one that's affecting Chrome. This use after free flaw. So the vulnerability tracker CVE 2024-4671 is a use after free flaw in the browser's visual component that could allow an attacker to execute code on the victim's system. So I'm not going to go into it. There's an update for it. So 1.24.0.6367201 is now available for users on the stable channel. So it's recommended to upgrade to that. Next. We might as well cover the Edge one since I've covered that one. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, Microsoft Edge one as well. I think it's the same website that's advertising this. Yeah, it is. Get off. Microsoft Edge 0-day vulnerability exploited in the wild. I think this is the same thing. Yeah, CV 2024-4671. So security flaw originates from the Chromium engine that underpins the browser, and it's the same one basically. So again, if you're using Microsoft Edge, then you need to make sure that's up to date as well. And again, with the Google Chrome, similar to Chrome, when you close Edge and you open it, it does tend to check for the latest updates to make sure it's up to date. Now, again, you can do manual checks on that. And this is where patching software such as that I mentioned before, Action 1, can help. So this is a service that we offer to our clients to obviously automatically patch machines, but we use Ninja One, which is a proper RMM for doing it, but obviously that's paid for. There's a this website's popular today. Apple iTunes for Windows flaw lets attackers execute malicious code. So if you're running iTunes, update it. CVE 2024-27793. Don't know what that is. So this issue's been addressed. So there's an update available. So if you're running iTunes for Windows, update that. So it's advised that users of Apple iTunes for Windows update to iTunes version 12.13.2 to fix the issue. So make sure you are on the latest version, or at least 12.13.2. Might as well cover the 40OS and 40 proxy stuff just to get it out of the way, which we cover every single week. 40OS and 40 proxy SSL VPN flaw allows IP spoofing via malicious packets. Critical vulnerability. Have we got the CV thing? No. So this allows IP address spoofing to bypass security controls. And it comes from improper validation of packets within the SSL VPN portal. Attacker can exploit this issue to manipulate the source IP address, effectively spoofing their identity and gaining unauthorized access. So affected product versions include 40OS from 7.0.0 to 7.2.3 and 40 proxy 7.0.0 to 7.2.2. And then we've got, to mitigate this risk, upgrades 40OS. Upgrade, so just run updates basically. Oh, there we go. There's the CVS score. So it's 9.3, so that's quite high. So again, as we mention every week, if you're running 40OS and 40 proxy, or any Fortinet stuff, FortiGate, upgrade it. Update it, sorry. I'm just going to link that Action 1 again, just for anyone that's interested in that. Mark, hello pal. Thank you for joining us again. Seems to come with us every week. I appreciate that. Where are we to now? Same website again. So this is GB Hackers on Security. Hackers abuse GoToMeeting. I'm just gonna scroll straight down to the bottom of this. I've not read this one myself, so I was just looking at it. So this is not just a matter of installing the GoToAccess. They're using GoToMeeting to distribute remote access Trojan, known as REMCOS. If you have GoToMeeting or any remote access tools installed on your systems and they're no longer needed, if you had to install them for whatever reason for somebody else to get access to your machines, if they're no longer needed, remove them. These are always used. Screen Connect's always used because there's free versions of Screen Connect available. So anyone can pretty much, if you can direct someone into downloading and running the Screen Connect client, then you've got the machine. The same with TeamViewer. TeamViewer is free to use. There are free versions available for non-personal use that you're not supposed to use for commercial, but I'm pretty sure hackers don't care what they are using it for. So again, if you're running GoToMeeting, there's actually no... Yeah, it's just... If you can get somebody to install it, same as anything, be careful with what you're clicking on. While we're talking about that, Where's the... FBI, Santander data exposure, Microsoft 0 day. I can get rid of that because we already covered that. Again, this is GB Hackers on Security. And it's kind of the same thing, down to beware of social engineering attacks. That menu. So this one's being used to deliver Basta ransomware. Hackers exploit social engineering. So everybody knows what social engineering is. It's people giving you a call, pretending to be somebody they're not. So these are spam emails. So basically what's happened is the spam emails flood the victims' inboxes to make them... it's like click fatigue, isn't it? Same with the MFA fatigue. They'll just keep spamming you and spamming you and spamming you until you accept the remote access tools such as AnyDesk, Quick Assist, usually pretending to be IT support calling them. All these can kind of be linked together in a way that obviously you need to be careful of social engineering. If you're an IT company and you're using like obviously Microsoft 365 and you're supporting clients with 365, there's CyberDrain Improved Partner Portal, CIPP, which is like free to use and sponsored. In fact, let me pull it up if you're not aware of this. I just want to make sure this doesn't actually... log in. Yeah, no, we're good. So, make this a bit bigger so we can see it. This is CIPP, and it helps with managing Office 365. One of the great features of it is that if you've got the multi-factor authentication app on the phone, which obviously you should be using, you should have MFA enabled if you're using Microsoft, then you can basically push a pop-up from the MFA so that they can identify themselves, but you should definitely be able to identify clients. And this is, so it's sponsored by Microsoft, Halo, PSA, Hoodoo, Imubot, NetFriends, NinjaOne, Huntress, OIT VoIP. So you can get that from... I'll stick a link to this. Put the link in. That's a click link, idiot. So cipp.app. So if you're an MSP or you're managing, don't even need to be an MSP, but if you're managing Office 365, this gives you some great features. Let me get that off anyway. Sorry, just reading this chat. My grandmother in Australia used to get targeted a lot with phone calls from ISP engineers and all sorts. She would tell him to I use an open source MFA that's encrypted. Yeah, social engineering attacks happen. It's just something to be aware of, and they're hard to fight. You just need to have some procedure set up between you and your clients or your friends to be able to identify each other. If it's like we look after many businesses and many people and we don't know everybody that works there because we just can't personally know everybody, so you need some way of doing it, and CIPP has a great option for that. Maybe that. Where is it? Sorry, just trying to fix something here. Oh no, it's on top of it. Looks like it's behind it to me. Yeah, so looks like a good product. It is. So it's constantly maintained. You can host it on Microsoft Azure, and it just makes managing the 365 so much easier, especially when you've got multiple clients that you're doing it for, like we do. So going back to Dell has been hacked. This story is from the 15th of May. So Dell attacker steals customer phone numbers and service reports. So this was the Dell support portal, I believe. Yeah. So it's scrape sensitive customer data from Dell support portal. So if you use Dell machines and you're registered and you've got your telephone number in there, the serial number of your machine, email addresses, then that's just 49 million Dell customers. Wow, that's a lot of people. So that's now 49 million people out in the world that are now susceptible to falling for social engineering attacks on behalf of Dell. So this was reported by TechCrunch. Compromised data was extracted from customer service reports, which also contained details about replacement hardware, parts, and comments from on-site engineers. That's where's my mouse gone? So that 49 million customers, yeah, that's a lot, and that's so the data's here actually. So names, phone numbers, and email addresses of Dell customers. Customer service reports containing information on replacement hardware and parts, comments from on-site engineers, dispatch numbers, diagnostic logs from uploaded customers' computers, and photos taken by customers. So if you've got a Dell warranty, and your data's been exposed, I imagine there's going to be a lot of social engineering attacks for people pretending to be Dell support. There'll be repercussions from that, Dell, no doubt. They're going to need to put some effort in on damage control. They certainly are. I mean, that's massive. 49 million. So the data, TechCrunch has verified the authenticity of the stolen data, which paints a grim picture of Dell's cybersecurity measures. So Dell's first response to the breach was to downplay it, saying that leaked customer addresses did not pose a significant risk to our customers, and claimed that no highly sensitive information was compromised. So yeah, I guess be wary of people pretending to be Dell support. Dell being hacked, that's just, well, that's huge. Now that goes with anybody that's providing IT support. Like we do. We have obviously a ticket system where we log tickets as they come in. If that was exposed, I mean, we don't store sensitive data in it at all. Obviously, it's just generic things like password needs resetting or whatever. But if that information was to be exposed, then people could ring up pretending to be us, saying we've got all the ticket numbers, ticket details, and all the history of all the machines and all the people going back, since the customer had been with us. That information's already out there, so that's quite alarming and concerning for Dell. in the same breath, just what I was mentioning about ourselves. So, Bangladesh IT provider database compromises 95,000 email addresses leaked. So, Tapware, a prominent service provider, faced a breach when approximately 50 gig of its data was leaked on a hacker forum. And this data contained 2.3 million rows of data, including sensitive personal information such as names, addresses, phone numbers of individuals associated with the company. If this information's out there, then again, this is where the social engineering comes in. And they've got the database. The leaked data structured in SQL format and dated 2024 includes a wide range of personal details, posing a substantial privacy risk. Obviously, and there's a screenshot there of the SQL. That's damaging for IT providers. So mitigation strategies is not much that you can do if you're one of their customers. But Tapware should promptly activate its incident response plan, including identifying the breach scope, securing any vulnerabilities, and mitigating ongoing risks. Comprehensive audit is crucial to uncover security weakness and implement corrective measures to protect the data. Implementing MFA across all critical systems. If you're an IT person and you're not implementing MFA, you're not a very good IT person. So you can see how all these lead on with the social engineering attacks. It's in the news. Social engineering attacks are up on the rise. Of course they are. Someone's just leaked 50 million records of Dell customers, and someone just wrote 95,000 records related to Tapware customers. Of course it's going to be on the rise. Let me have a drink 1 second. Yeah. Okay. We'll cover putty while we're here. So, a proof of concept release with critical putty private key. Oh, this is not the one that I saw. This is a different one. Release with critical putty private key recovery and vulnerability. I did read something about this. So, proof of concepts have been released. CVE 2024-31497. Sorry, I missed that comment then because it was hiding behind that. MFA on something or MFA on everything. You could have MFA on some things and it not be enough. This is true. I'll show an example of that in a minute as well. So CV 2024-31497 allows attackers to recover private keys generated within putty. So this is versions 0.68 through to 0.8. And it's to do with ECDSA nonces bit generate the first. Researchers found that the first 9 bits of each of them are always 0, so enabling full private key recovery. So if you're using putty, you need to make sure that you're on above 0.80. So it's not just putty that's affected. So security researcher Hugo Bond published a proof of concept on GitHub. So an attacker could obtain the required signatures in several ways, such as setting up a malicious SSH server and capturing signatures from connecting putty clients, extracting signatures from Git commits or other sources where putty was used as an SSH agent. So it not only affects a putty client, but also several other popular tools that incorporate vulnerable putty versions. So these include FileZilla, WinSCP, so I did mention that we would be bringing that up, Tortoise Git and Tortoise SVM. So PuTTY developers have released version 0.81 to address the flaw, and patch versions are available for most affected third-party tools as well. So if you're using PuTTY, make sure you're running the latest version. A lot of people, once they've downloaded PuTTY, never bother downloading updates to it. So you need to do that. Now, just while I'm... in a second. I can't see if... oh, yeah. So, while we're talking about PuTTY, I'm glad this website's powering half of this stream. So, IT teams beware. Weaponized WinSCP and PuTTY delivers ransomware. I lost my mouse. Where's the mouse gone? There it is. So this is... where is it? Google Ads, I believe. So if you're going onto Google and you're going to download it, yeah, it is. So attackers launched a campaign distributing Trojanized installers for WinSCP and PuTTY in early March 2024. So malicious ads. So this is Google Ads and things like that, and it downloads a Python that loads a malicious DLL. This sideloads a legitimate DLL and injects sliver beacon using a reflective DLL injection technique. And this is like, so the ad for PuTTY redirected users to a typo squatted domain, hosting a malicious download link. So if you're downloading PuTTY or any software, just be careful. There's lots of malicious traffic on Google. You Google something to download, bad people pay Google for adverts to get people to click on it. And if it comes up above, because you've got on Google, you've got the sponsored stuff that comes up before the legitimate sites, then if you're not paying attention, you're likely to click on a malicious advert. You can see how pretty much everything I'm discussing kind of follows on from each other. If you're using Cacti, it's susceptible to remote code execution. So CV 2024-25641, and it's got a CVSS score of 9.1. So that's obviously, you need to patch it. Now, okay, so this says critical, which, yeah, I guess it is. Allows authenticated users. So one, you need to be authenticated, and you need to have import templates permission. Now, if you've got the import templates permission, then through that you can execute PHP code on the server that's running the Cacti, or is it Cacti application. Improper sanitization and validating file names and content within uploaded XML data in the import package function. Yeah, so if you're running that as a web server, then go away, patch it now. Now, I did mention Adobe. So when we looked at the Action 1, and Adobe Suite is covered by it as supported third-party apps. The same website again. Adobe patches multiple code execution flaws in a wide range of products. It's just pointing me back to this. Yep. Absolutely. So, there's Adobe's addressed several critical code execution flaws across a broad spectrum of products. So there's patches available for them. And these patches are for Adobe Illustrator, Substance 3D Painter, Adobe Aero, Adobe Substance 3D Designer, Adobe Animate, Adobe FrameMaker, Adobe Dreamweaver. So if you're running any of them, you need to update. Opening a malicious file could lead to remote code execution, which will definitely give you a bad day. We're going to be all night at this rate. There's a lot come out this week. So, as Mac said, MFA on some things or MFA on everything. You could have MFA on some things and it not be enough. Speaking of MFA, is this the same website again? Yes. So Tycoon 2FA attacking Microsoft 365 and Google used it to bypass MFA. So MFA is like not the be-all and end-all answer to things. I think this is a man-in-the-middle attack. So it's Tycoon 2FA. Recently emerged phishing as a service platform. Targets Microsoft 365 and Gmail accounts. So it leverages an advisory in the middle. Man in the middle, whatever. Adversary in the middle, man in the middle. Technique to steal user sessions and cookies, bypassing multi-authentication. So what it does is it presents you with a login form. As you log in, it will then pass the login details through to Microsoft, so it will log you in. But as it does that, the adversary in the middle or man in the middle will grab the cookie that's used to log into either your Google account or your Microsoft 365. So once you've got that cookie, you can then, so an attacker can then save it on the machine, and they can use that cookie to log in to Microsoft or Google without requiring your password, and it will bypass MFA as well in many cases. So, in fact, the instructions, the information's on it here. So the attack works through a reverse proxy, capturing login credentials and relaying them to the real service to bypass the login page. As the attacker steals the session cookies returned during successful logins and granting unauthorized access, even with MFA enabled. So you can see this is an example of Tycoon. So you get the, it looks like a Microsoft sign-in page. You log into it. It will log you in, but it will steal your session cookies off your computer, and once they've been stolen, then anybody can use your cookies. So that's why you've got to be careful about what you're clicking on. I'm currently doing, so the last video I did was installing Debian. The reason I did that was I was going to cover Bitwarden. Mainly the self-hosted version of Bitwarden. Transition this across so you can see it. It's a bit bigger. So Bitwarden is a password manager. It will generate passwords for your websites. It will remember them, and it will automatically fill them out for you, so you don't need to. Now, in addition to remembering passwords, there's passkey support coming. I can't remember if it's in at the moment. Let me just open this a second. Let me find a website. The icon that appears on the toolbar, if you're using the add-in, if you're using the add-on for Bitwarden, the browser add-on, you can tell if you're on a fake website or not, because it puts a 1 against it if it's got credentials in it. Let me transition this. So similar to, it's hard to see how that is there. So we've got uBlock Origin there, and it's got 3 above it, showing that it blocked 3 things. Bitwarden will put a 1 on it. So if you're on a fake site or a phishing site, it's quite easy to tell if you're using a password manager. So password managers are not just useful for managing passwords, they're also useful for actually making sure you go onto the right website. And if you go onto the website from your password manager that you want, then obviously that makes you much more immune to phishing attacks. Just started using Bitwarden with FIDO key. Feel safer. Just hope it doesn't backfire in some way. The YouTube message hiding my comments, mate. Is it on this one? All right. Yeah. Sorry, it's on that screen, is it? Me. There we go. Fixed. Sorry about that, but thank you for pointing that out. Is this one the same? No, that one's fine. Yeah, so I wish that changed automatically for me. Pull up. Just started using Bitwarden with FIDO key. Feel safer. Right, okay, so we fixed the YouTube thing. So yeah, absolutely. So Bitwarden does support TOTP and that type of multi-authentication for websites. I do this for many websites. In all fairness, I use Bitwarden. I know people say you shouldn't really put your MFA on your passwords in the same software. Now, I do it for a lot of websites, but generally banks and things I don't. And then protect Bitwarden with FIDO key. So use your FIDO key to protect Bitwarden, and then Bitwarden can do all your other sites and stuff for you. That's actually a really good way to do it. So Bitwarden is, let me put this back while we're talking about Bitwarden. So Bitwarden, for home users, it's completely free, and it will stay free forever. And if we look at the pricing, so the teams, so if you're using it in a commercial environment, we've got teams. So you can do secure data sharing. It's got event log monitoring, direct integration. The enterprise version has enterprise policies, passwordless SSO, and account recovery. So this is the one that we use. We use Bitwarden Enterprise, which also means that you can set it up if you die for whatever reason. You get hit by a bus, fall into a puddle and drown. Somebody can recover your Bitwarden keys. So as far as password managers go, I recommend Bitwarden. I've used RoboForm in the past, but I went to Bitwarden because the self-hosted version, which I'm doing a video on, you can hide it behind a VPN and it doesn't even need to be exposed to the internet. If you don't expose it to the internet, then you lose the send feature. So Bitwarden has a great Bitwarden Send, it's called, and it's a great feature for securely sending passwords, files, whatever you want. You can set them so that it can only be viewed once. You can protect them with a password, so someone's got to speak to you. When they've got the link, you can set them to expire after so long. In fact, I'm going to do a full video walkthrough on Bitwarden, just because there's that much changed since I last did it. Right, so Hackbot malware exploiting Windows 0-day vulnerabilities to gain system privileges. I'm not going to go into that because I kind of covered that in the Windows updates. Make sure your system's up to date. What are we looking at? Google Chrome 0-day exploited in the wall. Patch now. Done that one. This is an interesting story. Let me just pull this across so you can see it. So apparently, Google will use Gemini to detect scams during calls. So this is for Android. So at Google I/O on Tuesday, Google previewed a feature that will alert users to potential scams during a phone call. So it's reported by TechCrunch. Maybe I could have found the original one. So the feature, which will be built into a future version of Android, uses Gemini Nano, which is the smallest version of Google's generative AI offering, which can be run entirely on device. Now, it is opt-in, or it will be opt-in. It's not out yet. But the system basically, I'm not sure I'm into something listening to phone calls, but the system effectively listens for conversation patterns commonly associated with scams in real time. Scams in real time. So Google gives the example of someone pretending to be a bank representative. Common scammer tactics like password requests, gift cards will also trigger the system. So I believe it will opt-in. Yeah, so they do know the feature will be opt-in, but no idea when that feature might be coming to Android. That's quite interesting. I wouldn't opt into it. I don't know, maybe it's a good idea for some people, but I'm not into AI listening to my phone calls. Let me close this back to so I can read it. Delete. This website is actually a different one. Wave stealer malware delivered via Telegram and Discord messaging platforms. So this is basically what is it? Is this one that poses as? Yeah. So this malware masquerading as video game installers. And what it actually does is install malware that can steal your information, steal your cookies, passwords, capture screenshots. So by disguising itself as a video game installer, it preys on the unsuspecting users of Telegram and Discord platforms known for their vibrant gaming communities. It's low cost to purchase on the dark web. I mean, I don't know. Don't pirate software. Don't download things from untrusted sources. Kind of all boils down to the same things. Let's see what else we have worth talking about. I think I've pretty much most of it covered. This is ridiculous. There's kind of no excuse for this. Commonly used passwords for new accounts include user and welcome. We just spoke about password managers. Sometimes I forget how this site uses cookies and external scripts. For more information or accept. So no block or deny. That's nice. Top of the list was user. Well, people have used user as a password over 41,000 times. Temp. With welcome, I'm assuming that's supposed to typo. It's supposed to say welcome, ranking third. Other common terms found were guest, starter, log on. Why would you? Use a password manager. It's absolutely stupid. Sometimes I read these. I mean, obviously, I'm in IT, so it just seems absolutely silly to me, but I don't know. Don't believe everything you read in the news, I know, but I mean, are people this stupid or uneducated with regards to IT? This is going to be awkward to pull up. Oh, no, it's not. I've not actually checked this one out yet. I don't know what it is. 400,000 Linux servers hit by eBay botnet. So it's grabbed over 400,000 Linux systems in 15 years with roughly still 100,000 infected. What is this? When it was a 25,000 system strong botnet, the eBay botnet survived a takedown attempt and sentencing of Maximum Senaka for his involvement. So it's an open SSH backdoor and credential stealer. It's affected over 400,000 hosts since 2009. There's a constant churn of new servers being compromised, while others are being cleaned up and decommissioned. The botnet peaked at 110,000 snared systems in 2023. After compromising a large hosting provider with 70,000 servers. How did it get them in the first place? It's being used to steal cryptocurrency wallets. So this is from ESAT. Right, so again, it's the same thing down to patching software. I mean, I suppose 0 days you're kind of struggling, but using 0 days in administrator software for compromising systems. So, okay. So it's used dirty cow race condition in Linux kernel, leading to privilege escalation. And CV 2021, 45467, which is unauthenticated, so anybody can do it. File inclusion in the control web hosting panel. Can't see any indicators of compromise on there. Yeah, if you've not patched your Linux servers for a while, or you're running what was it? Control web panel? I've not heard of that one. There are a lot of stupid people in the world, my friend. There certainly are. It's better for using stupid passwords like that. I tell you, sometimes it's hard to believe what you read, that people are that stupid. This is kind of a security thing, so we'll cover this first. Next. Again, talking about this type of attack's been going on for years. New Wi-Fi SSID confusion attack lets attackers connect into malicious networks. Okay. So this is more discussing about 2.4, maybe lesser protected Wi-Fi networks. Imagine if you sat in Starbucks. There's somebody come in with a router and they started broadcasting a wireless network, also called Starbucks. And they're basically just saying how you can basically push it if you're using 2.4 to get people to connect to yours first. This is something you should always be aware of anyway. That kind of attack has been going on for a long while. So it's basically spoofing the trusted SSID on the less secure 2.4 gigahertz. So affected network type, authentication method, and whether it's affected. So WEP, yes, it's not using WEP. WPA 1 and 2 is not, which most things are WPA 2 these days. WPA 3, interestingly. EAP, mesh amp. Yeah, just be careful when you're connecting to any public networks that you are actually getting the right one. And it's more saying about VPN. So if you use a VPN, you can use things like Tasker to turn off the VPN when you're on a trusted network. I don't know, say if you're at home and your Wi-Fi is called home, you can set Tasker up on Android so that when you're near home, your VPN turns off. And it's that type of thing that they're going on about. Bleeping computer article here. I've gone through the software update things. So, and things that you need to patch immediately. So I'm kind of just covering things that articles that have appeared in the news. There's another one. Hackers use DNS tunneling for network scanning. That's been a thing for a while as well. Exposing information through DNS. Kind of what the same thing that email marketing campaigns use for tracking whether you've clicked on something or not. What's this? Banco Santander warns of data breach exposing customer info. This is the first time I'm seeing this as well. So it suffered a data breach impacting customers after an unauthorized act. Wow. So, bad person accessed a database hosted by one of its third-party service providers. So, got a strong presence in Spain and the UK, Brazil, Mexico, United States, one of the largest and most significant banks in the world. In a statement published this week, the bank disclosed a data breach incident that has impacted customers and employees in Spain, Chile, and Uruguay. Excuse me. So they took immediate action to contain the incident and block the compromised access to the database, but it's already out at that stage. Does it say what was disclosed? So the bank did not disclose any details about the types of data, but noted that transaction information or online banking credentials were not impacted. Maybe they've not released the information because the investigation will still be ongoing. But it'd be helpful when people get hacked and data's exposed. If companies and people that are hacked actually say how, it would help others. Bleeping Computers contacted them requesting information about the third-party service provider, but they won't comment on it at the moment. There's some big companies hacked. Dell, Santander. What else we got? I'll just cover this just because. So, breach hacking forums. FBI sees breach forums hacking forum used to leak stolen data. You can use DNS over HTTPS from the browser, but it makes it difficult for security teams to monitor, so they don't allow that. Do you know, this is so true. So, if you're using DNS over HTTPS or DOH, obviously, if you work for a company, companies generally tend to block them because they can't monitor what sites that you're going on. Or block what sites you're going on when you're supposed to be doing work. VMware makes Workstation Pro and Fusion Pro free for personal use. Wasn't aware of that. Breach Forums is under the control of the FBI. This website has been taken down with FBI and Department of Justice with assistance from international partners. Hi, thanks for calling in. Matus, is it? Thanks for joining the chat. We're just coming to the end of it, to be honest, but I'm just covering some of things that have been in the news recently. I've already gone through and covered software that should be patched. Breach forums are wow, that's quite easy because the breach forums are very popular. So on Wednesday morning, soon after the site was leaked, was used last week to leak data stolen from Europol law enforcement portal, and the website's now displaying it's been taken over with the FBI. If law enforcement has gained access to the hacking forum's backend data, as they claim, they would have email addresses, IP addresses, and private messages that could expose members and be used in law enforcement investigations. So they've also seized the Telegram channel. This Telegram chat is under the control of the FBI. The breach forum's website has been taken down by the FBI and DOJ. With assistance from international partners, you can contact at FBI_breach forums right away. Makes a change for a win for the good guys. And the last one, the thing that I wanted to cover is, as we're talking DNS, so Criminal IP and Quad9 have an agreement in place to exchange domain and IP threat intelligence. So if you're not sure what Quad9 is, it's a DNS provider with security in mind. So they don't track your DNS requests and things, but they also provide block a lot of malicious websites and things. Can I explain how to configure a Kerberos server on FreeBSD? I can look into it, but I can't really go through it in this video. But I'll have a look at doing a video on it. So Criminal IP, a renowned cyber threat intelligence search engine developed by iSpara, has recently signed a technology partnership to exchange threat intelligence data used on domains, potentially IP address to protect users by blocking threats to end users. This is Quad9's great. So here it says Quad9's a free Anycast DNS platform, delivering robust security protections and privacy guarantees that comply with Swiss data protection and GDPR. And it's operated by a non-profit. So Quad9's great for to use for DNS as an alternative to Google, or obviously Cloudflare. But you can say it will help you protect from malicious domains. I think that brings me to about done. Are we? Yep, that's a lot. Okay, I'm going to call it a day here. I'm helping someone move house, so a bit short on time this week. But yeah, can I explain how to configure DNS? Configure Kerberos server on FreeBSD. I'll look at doing a video with it. I've got a few planned at the moment, but look, maybe I can do a write-up or something on it. So thank you both for joining me. Mark, thank you again. You seem to be a regular every week here, so I'm very, very appreciated. I will be back next Wednesday, same time, and I've got some more videos coming out in the meantime. So I'm trying to get the Bitwarden out at the moment. In fact, I'll just cover this while I'm here. there's a video that I'm working on for something called active pieces. So it's like Zapier type of thing, but self-hosted. So you can trigger it, like I was looking at to use it for set it up on a machine here. So I can have it that when I post a video to YouTube, it automatically reposts. You can say wait 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever, and then have it post to LinkedIn. So this I've just been playing with. When I get a bit more used to it, I'll cover it. So the pieces are kind of what you can do with it. So it's AI automations, IT operations. So approve employee requests on Slack, onboard clients to Invoice Ninja, copy new files from Google Drive to Dropbox, add roles on Discord members. You can reply to SMS with ChatGPT, WordPress posts, translate Slack messages, post daily tweets. So this looks like quite an interesting product. I can't remember where I'd seen it mentioned. Add a lead to HubSpot, notify Slack channel on new Calendly event, send welcome email to Stripe users, add a webflow, send email sequences to new subscribers. So this looks really quite interesting. So it is open source. Add new Zendesk tickets to Airtable, send intercom messages to users from Slack, reply to new emails with ChatGPT. So it's open source. Really interested in having a look at this actually. So I've got some videos upcoming on that as well as Bitwarden. I didn't even transition that in, did I? Sorry. What's the website address? Copy that. So it's just activepieces.com. Can't believe we waffled away for like 10 minutes myself without actually sharing the screen. I'm still getting used to this. Like I say, it's open source, so it's on GitHub. And it's basically, like it says, put everything on autopilot. So you can self-host it, but not only can you self-host it, you can use the web version and start for free. So if you don't want to self-host it and you just want to look at some form of automation, Mark, thank you for that. Wow. Yeah, you didn't need to do that, but thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, thank you for the £10 donation. That's very generous. What do you think about ChatGPT? Is it dangerous for DevOps, for regular devs, front end, back end? It can be dangerous. It depends if you know what you're using it for. So I've used it myself for. I'm a deprogramming myself, and I tried to get it to help me with something that I was struggling with in PHP, to do with scheduling and calculating, like, to do the tickets for the ticket system that we've got, and like scheduling tickets in. If you know what you're doing and you can read the code and understand it, then yeah, you should use it. But it's kind of just regurgitating code that other people. It's not. I'm not saying AI. It's just reading web pages. So it's reading the code that other people have already generated. And one of the updates to ChatGPT is they've got an agreement in place with Stack Overflow. So now when you do ask it for things, it will, which has caused a lot of trouble, but when you do ask it things, it will refer to the Stack Overflow thing. But like I say, it depends on how competent you are at coding. If you can spot if unsanitized input and things like that. You just need to be aware of it. If you're new at coding and you start using AI for generating code, it's not something I'd recommend. So I'm pretty competent at reading code, and I can tell if what it generates is good, bad, or dangerous. I use it quite a lot for generating interfaces for PowerShell scripts, GUI type things for clicking on, because that's tedious, and ChatGPT is quite good at doing that. So yeah, the active pieces that I was on. So the pro version, you get up to 1,000 tasks a month free for a single user. Then you've got the enterprise version, which is $99 per user per month. $99 per user per month, sorry. And you've got a minimum of 5 users. And then you've got unlimited projects. Let's say about tasks. Oh, it includes 1,000 tasks per month. So you've still got the same limit as the free version, but you've got unlimited projects, environment, audit logs and stuff like that. But you can self-host it, which is what I'm going to plan on doing some videos at. With that, now I'm just starting to waffle. So yeah, thank you both for turning up. Mark, again, thank you for that donation. It is much appreciated. And I will see you in next week's live stream. Same time, 19:30.